Hello, mic check. Test 1, 2, 3. Okay, good morning, good day, good afternoon. So, we're going to discuss Hello 2.2. Hopefully, tapos nyo na lahat yung 2.1 and i-collect natin siya sa Thursday. So, proceed tayo. Hello 2.2 is the Manual and Electronic Engine Indicator. First, PPT pa din. So, introduction. To ensure the optimal performance, safety, and longevity of marine diesel engines, it is essential to regularly gather and analyze engine performance data using various diagnostic tools. So, bakit meron tayong mga uh, iba't ibang engine indicators is for us to be able to diagnose them on real time para hindi na kailangan na mano-mano natin silang i-check or kapakapahin. Ano? So, yun yung most importance ng indicators natin. So, moving forward. There are different diagnostic tools for marine diesel engines. We have the first one, which we call the Engine Control Unit, or ECU diagnostics. So the function of this one is to monitor and control various engine parameters such as fuel, injection timing, air-fuel ratio, and exhaust emissions. It also collects from multiple sensors and can provide real-time information on engine performance. So for ECU, siya yung parang nagdi-display ng mga iba't ibang parameters natin, especially temperature, pressures, levels, and flow rates. So doon natin nakikita. Kung napapansin niyo dun sa simulator room natin, meron tayong parang tab or meron siyang parang space doon sa pinakababa. Nakikita natin lahat ng mga information from levels, temperatures, and all dun sa lahat ng dun sa lahat ng pages natin. So dun siya nakalagay. So yun yung parang tinatawag natin na ECU. So lahat ng information is makikita natin doon. So that's an example of ECU. So the procedure on using ECU based from the manual that was given is connect the diagnostic computer or scanner to the ECU using appropriate interface, and then allow access to real-time data and stored fault codes, which can help identify issues related to fuel injection, ignition timing, and other critical parameters. So dito pumapasok yung doon sa simulator natin, meron tayo doon tinatawag na MOP, or yun yung electronic control natin. So kung mapapansin nyo doon sa may main engine, tapos makita nyo sa taas yung EC control, wala na, kung saan tayo nag-on, nag-auto, nag-slow turn, and everything. Doon, yun yung tinatawag natin na ECU. So makikita natin lahat doon, lahat ng injection timing, pwede natin i-adjust doon, lahat ng exhaust, yung pag-open ng exhaust valve, ma-adjust din natin doon, yung air and fuel ratio, pwede natin siyang i-adjust doon, including the different cylinder pressures, indicated or intake pressure and combustion pressure. Pwede natin silang i-adjust doon. So, yun yung engine control unit. It shows or it is where we monitor yung mga parameters, and we can also control it using that tawag nito, using ECU. So, let's move forward. The next one we have is oil analysis kits. So the function for this one is used to assess the condition of the engine oil, providing information on contamination, wear, particles, and oil degradation. Oil degradation. So very basic. Ang pinakatrabaho lang ng oil analysis is to make sure na yung lubricating oil natin is in good condition. Walang mga iron filings, walang tubig, walang kasi kung yun yung pinaka-importante na tinitignan natin, dapat walang mga wear. Pag sinabing wear, yun yung mga gas-gas. So kapag matagal na siya na gumagasgas, nag-scrape yung mga piston rings natin, ini-scrape niya yung kung ano man, yung walang lubrication. So nasahalo na siya doon sa lubricating oil. Tapos kung mapapansin nyo, doon sa may crankcase natin, doon tayo kumukuha ng oil para i-test, para makita natin kung is it still pure oil, kung meron na ba siyang halong tubig. Pag may halong tubig, ibig sabihin, there could be a leaking somewhere sa mga O-rings natin doon sa cylinder head. Pag meron namang wear or mga iron filings, ibig sabihin, siguro may gas-gas. It could be from the bearings, it could be from the cylinder liner. So, yun yung mga tinitingnan natin. Now, of course, yung oil natin, makikita natin. So, pag sobrang itim na, or is it milky, sobrang itim, sobrang dumi na niya. So, yun, yung tinitingnan natin sa oil analysis kits. Now, the procedure for this one is very basic, of course. Kailangan mag-collect ng oil sample from engine's lubrication system using a clean container. And then send the sample to a laboratory for analysis or use on-site testing kits to measure parameters such as viscosity, total base number or TBN, and contamination levels. Send the sample to a laboratory for analysis or on-site, naulit lang, sorry. So this one is yung collect and oil sample. Usually, saan tayo kumukuha ng oil sample? Is it bubuksan ba natin yung makina tapos pupunta tayo doon sa crankcase? Parang hindi naman yata yun magiging accurate. So, ginagawa natin pag kumukuha tayo ng oil sample is usually kinukuha yan after the centrifugal pump or after ng lube oil circulating pump. Doon tayo kumukuha usually. Pero, some vessels na naka-direct or mayroon siyang direct suction from or ginagamit natin siya for purification, doon na lang siya kumukuha doon sa lube oil feed pump. So, doon sa lube oil feed pump, usually gumagawa tayo ng, napafabricate tayo ng lube oil sample para doon na lang tayo kumuha instead na doon sa may circulating pump ng lube oil kasi minsan mas malakas yung pressure niya. So, doon tayo nagkukuha ng lube oil for analysis. Now, meron tayong mga on-site testing kits. May mga testing kits tayo doon sa barko mismo na tayo naman yung sarili nagtitest. But, some companies requires it na every 3 months, nagsisend tayo ng lube oil for them na yung meron tayong third party na nagtitest ng lube oil para makita ng office and makita din nung magtitesting para makapag-advise sila kung what are we going to do sa makinarya natin. Hindi lang siya sa main engine, so lahat yan ng oil na ginagamit natin, pinapasa natin lahat sa shore or dun sa company natin to make sure na yung mga machineries natin is running smoothly. No? And then, ano pa? Yun. Yung mga on-site testing kits natin is yung tinatawag natin na WASOL or yung water in oil testing. So, tinitingnan natin yan para ma-make sure natin na yung lubricating oil natin is in good condition. Sabi ko nga kanina pa. So, para ma-check natin kung may tubig siya o wala. Meron din tayo nung ferrous testing or oil ferrous testing. Yun naman is nagtitest siya kung meron siyang mga iron filings doon sa mga oil natin. Well, very general naman yung ano na yun. Pwede mo siyang gamitin sa fuel, pwede mo siyang gamitin sa lube oil. I would like to present you some pictures, pero unfortunately wala akong na-ready. By the end of this, ano na lang, siguro, i-discuss ko or ipa-flash ko siya sa screen. So, yun lang muna. No? So, proceed muna tayo. Tapusin muna natin itong discussion. Okay, so the next that we have is exhaust gas analyzers. So, the function for this one is very obvious. It measures the composition of exhaust gases, providing information on combustion efficiency and emission levels. So, ang pinaka-purpose ng exhaust gas analyzers is to make sure na lahat ng exhaust na lumalabas sa ating main engine is yung temperature niya is in normal temperature para i-analyze niya kung is it still okay. Kasi doon usually dyan natin nakikita kung may sira yung mga makinarya natin or yung mga parts ng ating main engine. For example, mataas yung exhaust gas mo. There could be a lot of possibilities kung ano yung magiging cause ng bakit tumaas yung exhaust gas mo. It could be leaky fuel injector. Baka leaky na yung injector mo. Could be baka bungi na yung exhaust gas valve mo or exhaust valve mo. Baka din sobrang taas na ng binibigay ng fuel pump mo. Diba? Yun yung mga things na binabantayan ng exhaust gas analyzers natin. So, very crucial to, yung exhaust gas analyzers na to. Pagka yung deviation niya is magiging more than 50 or positive negative 50 degrees Celsius, nag-aalarma siya, tigil niya yung main engine. So, parang naka-interlock na siya. So, this one. Here comes your interlocks again. So, the procedure for this one is place the probe on exhaust gas analyzer into the exhaust stream. The analyzer measures parameters such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen oxides, and unburned hydrocarbons. It also analyzes the results to assess the combustion process and identify any issues related to fuel-air mixture, ignition timing, or exhaust treatment systems. So, sabi niya dito, hindi lang siya doon sa fuel-air mixture, hindi lang siya sa ignition timing, hindi lang siya sa exhaust gas mismo, kundi nag-a-analyze din siya if it's still okay sa emission. Yung emission natin is still by the standards. Kasi, di ba nga, very, tawag nito, very higpit na sila ngayon sa ating environmental um, environmental policies, lalo na sa air, diba? So, yun yung pinaka-trabaho ng exhaust gas analyzer. Okay? So, that's for EGA. Dito naman tayo sa pressure gauges and transducers. Alam nyo na to? Ano ba yung pressure gauge? Of course, para makita mo kung ano ba yung pressure na minimeasure mo. There are a lot of pressure gauges. The most common is yung Bourdon tube. Alam nyo na rin kung paano siya mag-work, di ba? Parang na-explain na natin yan sa automation ninyo. So, the pressure or measured pressure of various fluids within the engine, such as fuel, oil, and coolant. So, lahat-lahat ng mga pinapagalaw natin sa makina natin is meron siyang nakalahip or kalakip na pressure gauge. Sa barko, pag pumunta kayo, lahat ng kung saan may turn yung ulo mo, may makikita ka laging pressure gauge. Ano? So, yun yung importance ng pressure gauge. And then, transducers naman, siya yung para din siyang pressure gauge, but it is actually the one that is converting the water signal or yung pressure natin or yung basta kino-convert niya lang yung physical signal into electrical signal. Yun yung trabaho ng transducer natin. So, for example, yung pressure gauge, na-measure niya na. And then, si transducer naman, kino-convert niya yung na-measure na pressure from the pressure gauge into an electrical signal para ipasa niya dun sa ECU natin or dun sa system natin para mag-a-appear din siya sa atin. So, magiging dalawa yung copy natin. Meron tayong measurement dun sa local side, dun sa mismong pressure gauge. And then, meron din tayong measurement dun sa mismong monitor natin inside the control room. So, yun yung trabaho ni transducer. Para siyang transmitter lang, in other words. Ano? Now, so the procedure for this one, ewan ko bakit nakalagay ito, but very basic. It installed pressure gauges or transducers at the designated points in the engine system. Regularly record pressure readings and compare them with the manufacturer specifications. And abnormal pressure readings can indicate issues such as blockages, leaks, or pump failures. Very important. Yun yung pinakatrabaho talaga ng pressure gauge. So, katulad nung, di ba, nag-reading tayo, lagi kong sinasabi, pag nagre-reading, always ang reading mo lang is 5 PSI or 5 bars for the rest of the week. Then, sa lunes na susunod na lunes, biglang nagbago yung reading mo. Then, there might be something wrong sa makinarya na re-readingan mo. So, if you see something like this, better i-report nyo kagad sa officer in charge or sa engineer on watch. No? So, that's it. Lipat tayo. The next is temperature sensors and infrared thermometers. Very basic. It measures temperature of engine components and fluids, providing information on the thermal state of the engine. So, procedure is to install temperature sensor at critical points such as cylinder head, exhaust manifold, coolant system, and lubricating oil system. Use infrared thermometers to measure surface temperatures of engine components and to regularly monitor temperature readings and compare them with manufacturer specifications to ensure the engine is operating within safe thermal limits. I don't know, i-explain ko pa ba to? Hindi na siguro. Same as through with our pressure measurements or pressure gauges, it measures the pressure. However, in this one, it measures temperature, no? Parehas lang. So, for the whole week, 90 degrees yung rating mo. Then for the next week, gain 100 or 75, then there's something wrong with your system. So during monitoring, dapat alam natin kung ano yung ginagawa natin during times like that. Next tayo. Infrared thermometers, kung hindi nyo alam yan, yan yung baril-baril, muso ng pandemic, no? Mga armas ng ating mga security guards. So yun yung infrared thermometer. Okay. Next is vibration analyzers. Measure the vibration levels of engine components, helping to identify issues such as misalignment, imbalance, or worn bearings. Very important. I think I have shown you a video of this one before sa LO 1.7 ata or 1.8 dun sa mga interlocks. May vibration interlock tayo. So siya yung nagde-detect if there's something wrong or masyadong malakas yung vibration niya. Nag-off siya kaagad or pinapara niya yung makina natin. So yun yung trabaho ng vibration analyzers. Of course, para siyang PID din. Nagre-record siya ng mga previous records or previous vibration. For example, hindi masyadong malakas yung vibration niya for the rest of the week. Then, sometime, nagkakaroon siya ng malakas na vibration. Then, ina-analyze yung vibration niya nun or yung vibration na yon. Then, ina-analyze niya, kino-compare niya dun sa previous records. Then, if it is something abnormal, then magbibigay siya ng abnormal na alarm para i-check up natin kung meron ba talaga siyang mechanical issues. So, very basic. Hindi mo naman kailangan ng vibration analyzer lagi. Diba sabi ko sa inyo, pagkasample nyo pa lang, during normal condition, yung makinarya na binabantayan mo, pag normal condition siya, kapahin niya na. Pakinggan mo, damahin mo kung ano yung vibration niya. Para kung if there's something wrong with the vibration, you can always tell kung sino yung OIC in charge mo. Huwag mo nang hintayin na mag-alarma pa tong mga vibration analyzer na to. Dapat magkukusa ka na magsabi sa if you're very confident naman dun sa ibang vibration. No? So that's the okay. Okay. So sunod tayo dito sa borescopes and endoscopes. It allow visual inspection of internal engine components without disassembly, providing information on wear, deposits, and damage. So the procedure for this one is to insert the borescope or endoscope into the engine through access ports or openings, capture images or videos of internal components such as pistons, cylinder walls, and valves, analyze the visual data to identify signs of wear, deposits, or damage that may affect engine performance. For this one, borescopes and endoscopes, wala pa akong nakitang ganito sa barko. Pero ito is, kung hindi nyo alam, yung borescopes and endoscopes are yung parang maliliit siya na wire. Tapos pwede mo siyang isuksok sa mga maliliit na butas. Tapos meron siyang video. Ginagamit siya, parang usually ginagamit siya sa colonoscopy pagka magpapacheck up kayo ng ninyo, yung kirret nyo ba? Bituka, pag magpapacheck kayo ng bituka. So yun yung trabaho niyan. We are also using that. Pero usually ang gumagamit niyan is yung mga technical supervisors or yung mga techs natin pag sumasampan sila ng barko, para instead na bunutin natin, nilalagay na lang nila yon, check up nila kung meron bang sira, meron bang crack, mga ganun, tapos tinatanggal. Pero maganda to pag maka-request sa mga barko para iwas baklas ba. So yun, I have nothing to discuss about this one. Next that we have there is fuel flow meters. It measures the rate of fuel consumption, providing information on fuel efficiency and potential fuel system issues. So, ang procedure niya daw is to install fuel flow meters in the fuel supply line, record fuel flow rates during different operating conditions, and compare them with manufacturer specifications. Abnormal fuel flow rates can indicate issues such as fuel leaks, injector problems, or inefficient combustion. So, ang fuel flow meter natin is very basic. Dito natin minimeasure kung ilan yung konsumo natin sa pang araw-araw. For example, let's say today or mamayang tanghali, before noon, nag-reading tayo ng 11:45. I-reading mo yung flow meter ng fuel natin. Then, for the next day, re-reading ka ulit ng 11:45 para i-minus mo siya, makita natin kung ilan yung konsumo mo sa isang araw. Anyway, tuturo ko yan if we're going to meet in person na. No? So, yun yung importance ng flow meters natin. Dito rin natin malalaman kung meron bang sira yung makina natin. Let's say, sa full week, ang konsumo mo is 30 metric tons per day. 30 ang per day mo for the whole week. Then, sa susunod na linggo, naging 35, naging 33, naging 35, 36. Tumataas siya, hindi siya stable. So, meron siyang mga implication, or meron there could be some problems. Maybe there could be a problem sa environment. There could be a problem sa mismong makina mo. Or there could be another problem sa auxiliary machineries natin. So, yun yung mga pag-uusapan natin if we're going to talk about fault findings. So, yun, yung importance ng flow meter. Very, very important. Ito yung trabaho natin araw-araw. Minomonitor natin. Lagi siya. Ito yung magiging trabaho ninyo for the rest of your contract as cadets. So, yun. Lipat tayo. Next, we have cylinder pressure indicators. Very important din. Measure the pressure within the combustion chamber, providing information on the combustion process and engine efficiency. So, yun yung function niya. Minimeasure niya yung mga pressure from initial or from compression pressure to combustion pressure to every pressure na minimeasure natin. So, there could be brake horsepower, there could be indicated horsepower, there could be mechanical efficiency, and so on. Yun yung function naman nito. Makikita natin if there's something wrong with the machine. Kung, kunyari, from cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, pare-parehas or magkakalapit lang yung cylinder pressure niya. Then sa cylinder number 5 natin, there's wrong with the pressure dun sa Pmax or Pcomp niya. Then there's something wrong with with our machine. So yun. So ang procedure niya daw is install pressure sensor in the combustion chamber or use portable pressure indicator and then record pressure readings during combustion cycle and analyze the data to assess combustion efficiency and identify potential issues such as misfiring or compression loss. So yun yung procedure natin on how to operate this one. Dun sa electronic control natin, sa may simulator, makikita natin to dun sa may ME or dun sa electronic control. Tapos pupunta ka doon sa may cylinder pressure. Makikita mo dun yung mga cylinder pressure. Ganun yung example. Exact example kung ano yung makikita ninyo doon sa mga barko natin in real. Next. Dito na tayo sa procedure for gathering engine performance data. So, for the procedure for gathering engine performance data, ito yung gusto ko na ipapagawa sa inyo. So, I have specified kung ano ba yung mga dapat ninyong gawin for the rest of this week para i-check natin on your performance on the Thursday or on Thursday. So, gathering performance data involves a systematic approach to ensure accuracy and reliability. The following procedures outline the steps to gather data using various diagnostic tools. Tandaan na, hindi porket ito yung nilagay ko dito sa PowerPoint, ibig sabihin ito na yung tama. You can still research. Pwede kayong mag-research. For example, there are two ways of gathering data. Yung isa is yung gamit ng electronic, or we call it the Tecomar. No? Best example is Tecomar. Then, meron din tayo nung manual. Yun yung ipapakita kong video after this video or after this discussion. Next. So, preparation. Of course, kailangan mo mag-prepare bago mo galawin or bago ka magkaroon ng Kung gusto mong hawakan yung makina na yun, prepare mo muna. You have to review manufacturer's recommendations. So, kung hindi ka sigurado, for example, first time mo dun sa makina na gagalawin mo, of course, you have to consult the engine manufacturer's manual and guidelines to understand the recommended parameters and procedures for data collection. Don't worry, sasabihin niya naman lahat from opening the valve, from closing the valve, from recording, from sa lahat-lahat, makikita mo lahat doon kung paano siya gagamitin. So, kung marunong kang magbasa, marunong kang magkaintindi, magiging basic na lang to sa inyo. Next is to calibrate diagnostic tools. Of course, bago natin siya gamitin, we have to make sure na yung reading niya is the same or tama yung reading niya. So, ensure all diagnostic tools are calibrated according to manufacturer's specifications. Calibration ensures accurate measurements and reliable data. Well, calibrating the diagnostic tools are always, nandun naman din siya sa manual. Ituturo din doon kung paano siya i-calibrate. Or kung hindi nyo alam paano mag-calibrate, basahin nyo lang doon at intindihin, nandun naman lahat sa manual. Next is ensure safety. Follow all safety protocols including wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, very important, and ensuring the engine is in safe state for data collection. Paano natin masasabing nasa safe state yung makina natin? Of course, bago ka kumuha ng engine performance, you have to make sure na tumatakbo tayo doon sa magandang sea or tawag nito, stable yung dagat natin para safe state siya palagi. And of course, dapat walang nagtatrabaho doon malapit sa kung saan ka kumukuha. Kasi mamaya pagka bukas mo ng indicator ka, puputok yun eh. Pag puputok yun, baka may tao dun sa taas, masasabugan siya. So yun yung tinitingnan natin. You have to always make sure na safe tayo palagi. And very important, kailangan ng PPE. No? So that's it. Next, doon na tayo sa data collection. Siyempre, i-gather na natin lahat ng data na kailangan natin for us to be able, para ma-check talaga natin yung performance data natin. So the first one that we have here is oil analysis. Sample collection. Collect an oil sample from the engine's lubrication system using a clean container. Ensure the sample is taken from the representative point such as oil sump or filter. Analysis. Send the sample to a laboratory for analysis or use on-site testing kits to measure parameters such as viscosity, TBN, and contamination levels. Documentation is to record the results in engine logbook, noting any deviations from normal values. So kung ganito yung ginagawa natin, from taking the oil, from everything that you're doing, you have to record it always on the engine logbook. Para if there comes some time, di natin alam kung anong magiging future natin, kakailanganin at kikailanganin natin yan. Yung logbook natin. For example, after 1 month, nakalimutan mo kung kailan ka nag-take ng oil sample, you can always go back to the engine logbook to make sure or to confirm kung anong date ka talaga kumuha. So, that's the importance of recording the data. So, oil analysis, in-explain ko na kung ano to kanina. I'm just telling you on how to record the data that you have collected. Next is exhaust gas analysis, probe placement. Place the probe and exhaust gas analyzer into exhaust stream. Measure parameters such as CO, CO2, O2, NOx, and HC. Ensure the analyzer is set to correct settings for the engine type. Documentation, record the results in the engine logbook, noting any deviations from normal values. So, always, nire-record lagi natin yung mga reading natin sa ating exhaust gas, or sorry, sa ating engine room logbook. Para, sabi ko kanina, the importance of recording the data that we have collected. Next is pressure management. Same. Wala na akong i-explain dito. Record natin, reading. Ito yung ginawa natin sa LO 1.8 or 1.10. Mag-read ng mga parameters for us to be able to record it sa ating engine logbook. Araw-araw yan. Araw-araw natin ginagawa. Isa sa bago magtanghali and isa bago mag-midnight. Okay, next. Temperature measurement. wala na akong i-explain dito. Ganun pa rin. Magkuha tayo ng datas from, usually dalawa lagi yung kinukuhanan natin pala ha. Isa doon sa control room, isa din doon sa ating local site. Yun yung mga temperature gauge, mga pressure gauge. Yun kaya sinasabi ko sa inyo na kapag pupunta kayo doon sana sa engine room simulator, wala kayong dalang logbook para masanay nyo yung sarili nyo na we have to immerse ourselves na parang totoo talaga yung ginagawa natin. So yun yung magiging yun yung recording of data natin. This is now the importance of recording data. Next, vibration analysis. So sensor attachment, alam niyo na to. Ganun pa rin kung if you have a vibration sensor na naka-display, you can read kung ano yung vibration reading niya for the first day, second day, for the rest of your contract para ma-monitor natin if there's something wrong, if there's something unusual na nangyayari doon sa mismong makinarya natin. And of course, documentation, record it always on the engine logbook. Wag niyong kakalimutan na mag-record sa engine logbook. Very important. It is for you, hindi lang naman para sa company yan. It is for you dahil it is your duty. Dahil duty mo, yun yung job description mo, mag-record. Visual inspection, of course, ganun pa din. Ewan ko, bakit ganito. Capture images. So, yung images, of course, sa computer na natin yan isa-save. And then, ang i-record naman natin yan, for example, na-record na natin yan, may mga videos, may mga images, isa-save natin yan siya sa computer. May mga computers naman tayo sa control room. I-save natin. You just need to label it properly. And then, i-record din natin sa logbook. Paano natin i-record? Sulat mo. Captured images from, or mo, inspected cylinder number 1 using endoscope or borescope. Yun. Or pwede, kung gusto mo mas specific, lagay mo din kung saan mo sinave yung mga captured images mo para kung kailanganin, balikan mo lang sa logbook, madali mo na siyang mahanap. Diba? So, that's the importance of recording data. Next is fuel flow measurement. Ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina na araw-araw natin siyang ginagawa. So, nagre-reading tayo sa umaga, nagre-reading tayo sa gabi. Then, the next day, reading tayo sa umaga, reading tayo sa gabi. Then, i-compare natin. After natin ma-compare, makikita natin or masosolve natin kung ano yung konsumo natin sa isang araw. If there is something wrong with the deviations, for example, sobrang naging mataas yung konsumo natin for the next day, siguro baka maalon lang, kaya na madami yung fuel na kailangan ng makina natin. Or it could be may sira na yung makinarya natin. So, yun yung mga tinitignan natin for this one. Cylinder pressure measurement, data collection, very basic. You can use yung electronic engine indicator natin. The most best example is Tecomar. Electronic siya. Numbers na lang yung makikita mo doon sa mismong tool na yun. Anyway, I will play something using I will play later on. I will find it at YouTube kung ano yung ginagamit ng electronic and then yung manual, kung ano yung pinagkaiba ng dalawa. Ano? Next is data analysis. Dito na pumapasok yung paano natin i-analyze yung nakita natin na sira or nakita natin or nakuha natin ng mga data. So the first one here is historical data comparison. Of course, i-compare natin yung nakuha natin for the present day doon sa mga previous records natin. So compare the collected data with historical data to identify trends and deviations from normal operating conditions. For example, yung previous na engine performance mo, maganda yung takbo niya. Then for the current, huwag naman sana, sa current mo na readings or sa mga data na na-collect mo, is there something wrong or there's something different, then there might be something wrong with your machinery already. No? Then the next one that we have is threshold analysis. Compare the data with manufacturer recommended thresholds to identify any parameters that fall outside acceptable ranges. Ito naman, hindi mo na siya i-compare doon sa previously na na-collect mo na data. But, you're going to compare it based from the manufacturer's recommendation. Doon kasi sa mga libro ng manufacturer's manuals natin, makikita natin yung tamang range or yung mga tamang ranges ng ating mga datas. Wait lang guys, medyo maingay. Pero doon natin siya makikita. So, doon sa mismo manufacturer's manual, may standards doon. Makikita ninyo yung during, for example, tumatakbo siya ng 90 RPM, meron na siyang set point kung ilan yung dapat na makuha niya or ilang temperature, ilang pressure, yun dapat yung sinusundan natin. So, if it is above or is it below, dun sa mga ranges na yun, then there's something wrong. If kung hindi mo alam kung ano yung gagawin, you can always ask your engineers. Kung hindi pa rin nila alam, you can ask for technical person to help you with your machinery. Hindi naman kayo pababayaan ng mga supervisors namin. Okay, next. Diagnostic interpretation. Dito na pumapasok yung analyzing natin or kung paano tayo mag-analyze. Pumapasok yung galing natin and how to troubleshoot things, use diagnostic data to identify potential issues such as fuel injection problems, lubrication issues, mechanical wear, and then dito pumapasok yung root cause analysis, investigate the root cause or of any identified issues considering factors such as fuel quality, maintenance practices, and operating conditions. Diba? Tanong, paano natin ma-enhance yung pag-diagnose natin sa mga bagay-bagay? Paano ba? Paano? Ma-enhance natin yan or ma-improve natin yung sarili natin sa pagbabasa ng manufacturer's manual. Kung nakakita na kayo ng isang manual, makikita nyo doon sa likod niya. I think I have shown you previously doon sa Oxmac 2 natin, doon sa purifier natin. Di ba meron siyang isang page doon or merong isang buong libro dedicated only sa sa fault finding, di ba? Meron siyang problem, meron siyang doon is parang dalawang table siya. Meron siyang problem and then the other one is to tell you what is the movement or what is the action that you need to do for you to be able to rectify that problem. So, yun yung tip ko lang. You can read. Tignan mo lang kung, for example, low suction pressure. Ibig sabihin, low suction pressure, cause, filter clogged. Siyempre, ang gagawin mo, lilinisan mo yung filter. Diba? Lilinisan mo yung filter, ganun pa rin, low suction pressure. What could be the other cause? Tignan mo kung ano pa ulit yung cause. Suction valve is closed. Buksan mo ngayon yung suction valve. Binuksan mo, ganun pa rin, low suction pressure. What could be the other cause? Diba? So, dun pumapasok yung analyzing natin or yung understanding natin doon sa mismong machinery. So, yun. Doon pumapasok yung diagnosis natin or diagnosticism. Sobrang sa S. Okay, next tayo. Corrective actions. Ito na. Maintenance planning. Use the analysis results to plan preventive maintenance activities such as oil changes, filter replacements, and component inspections. So, meron tayong dalawa dito. Sinasabi niya maintenance planning. You're still planning kung kailan mo siya gagawin. For example, di ba, nakagather ka ng data. Inanalyze mo yung data. Diagnose mo yung data. Now, it is time for you to do your corrective actions. There could be maintenance planning. Yung pwede mo pa siyang maplano kasi hindi naman siya urgent. Or it could be immediate repairs. Kapag critical yung issue, na-identify ninyo during the analysis such as leaks, blockages, or component failures, then you can immediately do something about it. Huwag mo nang hintayin na makarating pa kayo sa puerto kasi baka pagkarating nyo ng puerto, lubog na yung barko ninyo. So, yun. Next. Advanced diagnostic techniques. Dito na pumapasok yung electronic control, yung yung dito pumapasok yung kagandahan ng electronic control natin na makinarya ngayon. Kasi modern diagnostic techniques leverage advanced technologies and data analytics to enhance the accuracy and efficiency of engine performance monitoring. Maganda to kasi nakikita mo na kaagad if there's something wrong with your machinery, pwede mo rin siya makontrol para hindi na siya tumaas ng ganong problema, para hindi na maulit yung ganong problema, pwede mo siyang makontrol. So, yun yung mga diagnostic techniques natin. Doon sa simulator natin, meron din tayong diagnostic, electrical diagnostic doon. Pwede natin siyang i-try if we're going to go back sa simulator natin. Papakita ko sa inyo kung paano siya gagamitin. Next, ito, real-time monitoring system. First one is continuous data collection. Real-time monitoring system continuously collect data from sensors installed in the engine. These systems provide real-time insights into engine performance, allowing immediate detection of anomalies. Ito yung ginagawa ninyo. Araw-araw tayo nagmo-monitor, araw-araw natin kinokollect yung data, araw-araw natin nire-record for us to compare it from the previous ones para makita na natin kaagad kung there's something wrong. The next that we have here is remote monitoring. Remote monitoring systems enable operators to access engine data from central control room or shore-based facilities. This allows for proactive management and quick response to potential issues. So, pag remote monitoring, dito na pumapasok yung mga chief engineers na nasa home base na or nasa shore base, diba? Or you could only see it from control room. Maybe this could apply dun sa mga malalaking barko, yung mga container, no? Yung accommodation nila nasa harap, tapos yung engine room nila nasa likod. Diba? Meron din siguro silang control room na pwede nilang i-access dun sa accommodation. Kasi it could take some time bago sila makarating dun sa engine room. So, that could be a thing also. Next is predictive maintenance. We have data analytics. Use data analytics tools to analyze historical and real-time data to predict potential issues before they become critical. Predictive maintenance helps in planning maintenance activities more effectively. And the one that we have is, this one pala, yung analytics tools is, ito yung mga na-collect mo and then you're going to use a tool para i-analyze mo. I-compare mo lang siya in real-time data. And then, dito pumapasok yung machine learning algorithms. Or we call it AI. Di ba? Yan yung term. Ayan. So, implement machine learning algorithms to identify patterns and correlations in the data. These algorithms can provide insights into complex interactions between different engine parameters and help in identifying potential failure modes. So, parang AI na yung naghahanap ng problema, pero you cannot always trust it. Kasi, mas maganda pa rin yung ikaw yung nakakakita. And then, manufacturer-specific recommendations. Tandaan nyo to ha, different engine manufacturers provide specific recommendations for diagnostic procedures and data collection. It is essential to follow these guidelines to ensure accurate and reliable results. So, tatandaan nyo lang, baka pag sumampa kayo, for example, nakaunang barko ka, yung barko mo is Sulzer yung brand o yung manufacturer niya. Sunod mong barko, Kawasaki man, BMW. Ngayon, yung experience mo sa Sulzer, i-apply mo ngayon siya dun sa Kawasaki. Is it okay? Hindi, kasi magkakaiba sila ng specific recommendations. So, you have to make sure na kapag bago yung barko na sinampahan mo, the practice could be still the same, but yung mga standards or yung mga specific recommendation as per engine manufacturer's manual is different. So, paano natin makakonfirm? You have to read the manufacturer's manual. Okay, next. Ito, advanced diagnostic techniques, documentation review, manufacturer's manual. Review the manufacturer's manual for detailed construction and diagnostic procedures, recommended tools, and acceptable parameter ranges. Diba? Paulit-ulit. 1.2 Service bulletins. Stay updated with service bulletins and technical updates provided by the manufacturer. These documents may include important information on diagnostic techniques and parameter adjustments. Tama nga naman. Kasi baka there's parang may update siguro, hindi mo na dapat kailangan ganito. Kasi nga, may update na kami, in-install na namin yan, ganito, yan. Eh, ikaw naman, hindi ka nagbabasa. Sige ka pa rin palikot. Bigyan mo nga ng sakit ng ulo yung katrabaho mo or yung sarili mo. Ano? So, yung iniwasan na. Next, training and certification. This one is now very important. So, if you're going to board ME engine, yung mga electronic engines natin, expect nyo na meron kayong prior trainings bago kayo makasampa. There could be parang meron yatang high voltage training if you're going to high voltage training or electro or automation training, mga ganun na kailangan bago tayo makasampa ng mga ME engines. But as cadets, I think you're not going to be required. You know? If you're going to be engineers or officers already, then I think you're going to be required for that training. So, yun. Certification, very basic lang yun. Next. Okay. Yes, tapos na. So, to conclude, gathering engine performance data using diagnostic tools is essential for maintaining the efficiency, safety, and reliability of marine diesel engines. By using a systematic approach and following manufacturer recommendations, marine engineers and operators can accurately monitor engine parameters, identify potential issues, and plan maintenance activities effectively, of course. And diagnostic tools such as CCU diagnostics, oil analysis kits, exhaust gas analyzers, pressure gauges, temperature sensors, vibration analyzers, boroscopes, fuel flow meters, and cylinder pressure indicators provide valuable insights into engine performance. And adhering to manufacturer-specific recommendations, participating in training programs, and obtaining certification ensure that personnel are qualified to perform diagnostic procedures and interpret data accurately. By following best practices and utilizing advanced technologies, marine engineers and operators can ensure the reliable and safe operation of marine diesel engines, protecting the engine, the vessel, and the crew from potential hazards. So that's it for the diagnostics or diagnosing our main engine. So we have different diagnostic tools. It could be using the manual diagnostic tools or electronic diagnostic tools. So I will your student leader or sorry your section leader will play a video from YouTube, and how are we going to use a manual engine indicator and a electronic engine indicator. All right. So maybe if you still have time, you can do it. But if there is no more time, it's up to the section leader. So that's it. Thank you for listening. And you one more thing, you have to check your Minerva LMS. I have posted a set of activities as your guidelines or guidance for the rest of this week. So please check it. Thank you.